are back. We have all survived yet another week of homeschool parenting, quarantine marriage. This is my husband, David.
Hello.
Toups, as in soups. He's joining me here today because we are going to talk about all things marriage. Bum, bum, bum. Hi, David. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks for nominating me to come on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's nobody better to speak like insight and truth into what's really happening at home, that we are not living a Mary Poppins Neverland like home life.
Talk about this.
It's real. It's real in our house.
True.
This is not, we don't have a sugar-coated Instagram. I mean, we post the highlights of our life on Instagram certainly, but it gets real, it gets hard, and it's dirty, and it's messy in our house. It's messy in our house. We have 4 kids. Yeah, it can be a little bit crazy, but I just think like opening up and discussing the challenges that everybody's experiencing right now in these new times that we have in the time of COVID-19. Well, how do you like to call it? You're a medical professional.
Just times of quarantine, pretty much. Like, it seems like half of what we're usually, actually 80% of what we're used to usually doing is shut off to us, whether that be seeing our family, our friends, our closest ones, or even going out to a restaurant, or even me going into work half the time. You going to work at all. Like, I think that it's just been definitely a challenge for everyone, and anyone that says it's not, is not being truthful.
Well, yeah, but I just want to know, like, you're a medical professional. What do you officially, what's like the cool thing to call it? Like, you see, like, the memes, like The Office, like, what every Office character calls COVID-19, like, what?
Everyone just calls
the Rona?
The Rona. That really is. I mean, you say it so much every day. It's just the Rona now.
The Rona, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, anyway. Well, we didn't really talk about this last week, but it's been about a week, just over a week since Easter. And here at Calvary, we had the drive-in Easter service, which was phenomenal.
Great.
I thought it was really, really cool and just different, and just like being in the moment for what this is and celebrating and still being able to kind of come together and worship, but still be 6 feet apart.
Yep.
And we pulled like a complete amateur move. First of all, we took the wrong car. We didn't take my big car, the Mommobile, with like the snacks and the activities and things that I keep for emergencies in the car. We took your cool car. Mm-hmm. And then we gave the 4-year-old 2 donuts. And then we were trapped in a small vehicle for 2 hours.
And I drank coffee.
And he had coffee, which he doesn't normally drink coffee. But that was like, just come
squirming.
on. Like, that was like beginner league. Like,
then Piper's crawling all over the roof and trying to, out through their sunroof and yelling at people during the service. And
yeah, it was phenomenal, but that was just an amateur parenting move. And I feel like, I wouldn't say we're veterans, but we're in the pros. We've got 4 kids. We kind of know what we're doing. But that was just like basic. Like, who does that? She's like crawling out the window, sitting on top of my shoulder. It was wild. Upside down by my feet, like dangling and kicking. It was fun, though. I think a lot of other families were probably in the same boat, but it was just really special too, and like all the horns honking.
She hadn't left the house in so long. I think it was really special for her as well.
Yeah, so it was fun. Everybody else out there that was on Easter? Anybody feel me with the overly sugared up children, toddlers? Hi, Brandon. We got some other people. Hi, Gabrielle.
What's up, Sally? Thanks
for jumping on and joining us. We've got some really exciting things happening here, kind of near the end of our show, the last 15 minutes of our show. We're going to be doing something kind of different. So stay tuned for that. It's really spicy. This is my spicier half. I'd say my better half, but he's definitely my spicier half. And we're going to do a Spicy Hot Ones challenge. So hang on for that at the end. But in the meantime, we're definitely going to kind of go through some things that we've been struggling with at home, or some things that have been really successful for us.
We've had a lot of wins as well.
I wouldn't say a lot.
We've had some good ones.
I said we had some good ones, and we've definitely had some low moments, but we're here. Like, everyone in our family is still alive through this.
Good.
Like, we've
healthy,
maintained the quarantine distancing. And what we were speaking about before is you have an essential job. You're a medical professional. However, you're in the sales industry of it. So you're still working, but it's cut back quite a bit. So that's definitely impacted us. And the ups and downs for us have been that he's still having to work and maintain his normal life, but we have all this weird quarantine craziness going on, and I think a lot of people are certainly in those same shoes. And
Sure, workloads have definitely gone down quite a bit at the hospitals, and I think that's pretty much with every industry that's out there. They're not doing elective cases, it's only emergencies at the hospital. They're trying to keep as many people out. So if we do get a wave of sickness, then they're there to take care of those people that are need most. So.
And for me, my heart, my anxiety is like, I'm thankful that you have this job and that you're still employed and you're still able to work. I've been furloughed through my work, which, it is what it is, and we're just working through it. But my anxiety is still like, my husband's going to the hospital every other day or every 3 days, or, and you're taking every precaution. And I think the medical professionals know what they're doing. Like, they're around diseases, they're around sick people all the time. They're the ones that actually know how to wash their hands properly. And it's funny because when we first started dating and we're married, I would always be like, gosh, you wash your hands really weird. And he goes in there and he does this and he does this and he does this. And that's what he's been kind of trained to do. So like, they know what they're doing, and he's really super clean and careful, but it still like gives my heart a little bit of worry. Like, okay, we're quarantining, we're taking all these steps to do this, but what if he is going out and being exposed in your job and bringing that home to our kids and whatever? And then my spiral of anxiety, and then you bring me back and I pray and it's fine. But I'm thankful. That being said, I'm thankful you have a job and you're still working. We spoke just a little bit ago talking about Easter, how you had coffee and you never drink coffee. Obviously, I'm always caffeinated. And I think that speaks to a difference in our personality. He has a lot of just natural, unending energy.
Yeah.
Right? And my energy, like...
Not unending, but yeah, definitely.
No, I mean, you have lows.
Yeah.
But, like, you kind of propel yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas
You love your coffee.
I love my coffee.
I'm just like, I hear the thing is going and going and going. I'm like, man,
right.
If I don't get anything done around this house really soon, especially during this quarantine, I'm going to be in trouble.
So I'm always like, if I don't lay down and take a nap, if I feel a little tired, I just have another coffee and then take on another project. And it's kind of the difference in our personalities, and I feel like why we tag team so well, like in these times, in that, like, I don't want to be married to myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all right with myself, but I think it'd be really boring and probably be just a disaster.
Yeah.
Right?
No, not a disaster. I mean, it's a lot though. Like, honestly, like, I think that sometimes, like, she's just always on task and has all these things and certain accomplishments and things she wants to get done, like has an agenda for the day. And I'm like I never know what I'm gonna do from day to day. And that's the nature of my work. That's the nature of basically just my soul as well. That's why my job suits me so well. Because if they say you got to go to the OR at midnight, I'm ready to go. And that's fun, and I thrive on that. And I like not having anything too static, but
you also like your naps.
I love my naps.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If I have nothing to do, like, honestly, why not take a nap? Because you never know when you're going to get to take another one. I don't know if that's an important point.
Words of wisdom, I guess. But just kind of navigating that, I was really thinking about, like, people being married and, like, stresses in your marriage, and being quarantined is kind of exacerbating, I think, those things. And I was talking with my friend Tish earlier, and how and with you too, about how now that we're quarantined, we're seeing our differences, I feel like, are blown up even more. Whereas before, we were kind of like two ships kind of passing in the night sometimes.
Sure.
You're driving someone to practice, I'm picking somebody else up from school. We're kind of a tag team in that way. And now we're in the house, we're parenting together, we're trying to figure it out. And I feel like the differences are blown up and magnified a little bit more.
Our schedules are typically completely flip-flop. So whenever you're gone, I'm at home, and vice versa. And that's just the way it always works out. So us being able to having all this time together has really brought us together, but made us realize, like, that we do have a lot of differences, and we do have a lot of different things to offer, but we also have a lot of different issues,
right.
I guess.
Yeah, no, it brings those things out, but allows you to kind of speak and deal with those things and appreciate. It's important, I think, to appreciate those differences in your partner rather than resenting them. And it's so easy when you're annoyed and you're irritated and you're like, I'm stuck here, and then the house is messy. I just cleaned up this room, and then I went to the other room to clean it up, and the kids threw the pillows off the couch for the 18th time in the day, and I can't pick up pillows anymore. And that it's easy to have those differences be irritating, but it's so much better to focus on and to be thankful for that difference. Like, I'm thankful that when I'm at, like, my wit's end and I need to go lock myself in the room, you're like, all right, kids, let's watch America's Funniest Home Videos and have a fun time. And he's a little bit more loose about his schedule, and I'm, you're my like wrestling tag team partner. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm tapping you in. I got to get out of here.
Go lock yourself in the room.
If that means just going for a drive.
Because, yeah, we do hear a lot of moms around the house because they're used to her being there more. And now I'm trying to get more dads out of them. And it's been a struggle, but we're working towards it.
Oh, yeah, no. Mom. And he's standing right here. I'm like, your dad is sitting next to you. Ask him. And part of it is because, and I don't want to put you out on a limb or anything, but you don't know where anything's at. I mean, I'm just kidding. He knows where everything's at. I said today, that's why he pays me the big bucks, because I'm the only one who can find things around the house.
It's true. But I think also with all this time that we've been able to spend together, I think that I think as people, we tend to focus on negatives and, the negative aspects of other people. But what we've really tried to do and strive to do is just find all those positives that are really there, the things that she does well that I don't, and just all the positive things that we love about each other that make us a whole, that make us a couple.
100%. If we were, so like, what's the official term for like the Mexican wrestling team? Like Nacho Libre, and what are they?
Luchadores?
Yes. Okay, so we have to figure out what our like wrestling team name is.
Oh yeah.
And like we can design little masks and stuff. That'll be a craft that I'll have for us later. We'll design.
It sounds like fun. We've been doing a lot of crafts lately.
He likes it. It's good. Do we have any questions here that I'm missing? Oh, sweet things. So play together, working together, parents rock, communicate, and something else. Someone's sending some really good resources on the Calvary Instagram. Well, I have a sermon that like is so close to my heart that I have to listen to like every year, and sometimes more often. And like this is a season where I've had to listen to it more often. It's Craig Groeschel does this amazing series, and the specific one is Giving Up My Right to Be Offended. And it's so good. When I hear it, it's like, oh, conviction. Especially with my kids. I mean, honestly, like, I feel like we've been doing pretty well in this season, alternating. But with the kids, like, they're driving me nuts sometimes. They cannot stop fighting. No. Like, it's just oil and water all the time. But that message really is like, yes, you have the right to be offended over something, but if you give up that right and you surrender that, then you can just like enjoy and appreciate and serve. But if you're just walking around with like an angry heart, being offended because maybe you have the right to be offended, then it's not. Then I'm annoyed with you, and I'm irritated that the kids left the pillows all over the place, and then I'm gonna snap at you, and then you're gonna snap back at me, and then I'm gonna be that much more offended, and then we just keep building and layering those offenses against each other and those grievances. But even though maybe I have the right because I did clean the house and somebody tracked mud through, like, okay, then I look at it like, okay, you know what, I did, but their kids are having fun. At least they were playing together, and look at the goodness in it rather than look at the like my offense,
right,
and like have that stance.
Because whenever they are all playing together, it really is truly joyous. Like whenever they're all working, but whenever they're all working on a task together, whether it may be messy or not, life is messy. And kids, as we know, are a little bit of messier part than the adults are, usually. Yeah, the
messy house.
Unless I'm cooking.
And your cooking is very messy. It's totally true.
It's worth it.
Yeah, by giving up your right to be offended. And another favorite pastor of mine, I'll be careful throwing that around, Levi Lusko, whoever he is, said something this weekend that I really love that tacked onto that. When you become difficult to offend, you become easy to bless. And then I was like, ooh, that one with my children, but also with my husband. Like when I'm not just following him around, nagging him about how he unloaded the dishwasher wrong, or how this is done wrong, or when I become difficult to offend and I have a joyful heart, then I'm so much easier for him to bless, and then it comes back full circle and just blesses our marriage too.
Blesses our whole household.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's tough to stick to that, on a day-to-day basis, but I think that if you wake up and you're cognizant of everything that they're doing that's positive instead of focusing on the negatives, like it will come back to bless you, and it will, one, make your life better, make it easier, and especially since we're in such close quarters, just bless us all. So
Oh, Nate wants to know how we cultivate intimacy and romance when we're stuck at home. We're gonna get there. You just hold on. We gotta work through like the fighting and stuff first, and then we'll get to the sexy stuff. Just kidding. But it's true. I mean, when we're stuck at home during this, all these things, these stressful situations are causing more strain on the marriage. They're causing more irritations. They're separating, pulling, and dividing. And when you work against and kind of work through those things and acknowledge those things, they kind of lose their power a little bit.
It's true.
And I feel like that with my anxieties, or when I get worst case scenario in my head, as soon as I talk to you about it and I talk through like, hey, I was feeling like if I have to homeschool the kids, none of them will be able to read and none of them are going to ever have jobs. And then I say that out loud. It's like, that sounds ridiculous, Becca, right?
Mm-hmm, totally.
And then it kind of loses its power,
it.
and then you kind of work through that. So, because for me, it's anxiety. That's where I get kind of myself wound up, and what like you struggle maybe more like
depression, just because I'm used to going out and working a lot more and you know, being more active in my community and doing things, and now the hospitals don't want me in there, my doctor's offices are closed, I don't have much to do, and it's just like you can either succumb to that and be depressed and lay on the couch, or find something to do, you know. And I think that we've done a very good job with that. Like honestly, in the last couple of weeks, we've done some good stuff.
We've tackled some big projects, some small projects, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, no. And then exercise, honestly, has been, I think, a huge part of how we kind of connect. Because for me, and Nate, just so you know, the big part of that intimacy is the connection for me. So if I have connection and I don't feel angry at my husband all day or irritated or I'm not nagging him, then there's a lot more room for that intimacy and the connection and the dating and the fun stuff.
Working out together has actually been really, really great for me. I don't know. I like to lift weights. I don't like doing cardio. I don't like doing that stuff, but we don't have...
No, what are you talking about?
But doing the cardio with her has been really good, and I've had back troubles lately, so we've been focusing on new things like yoga.
What?
Yoga.
I got him doing yoga with me.
Which I despised at first. I truly did.
Because?
But what?
Because?
I'm not the most flexible guy in the world.
You can't scratch your own back.
I can scratch some of it. You get the middle.
I get the middle.
I get the rest. Yeah,
so,
the wall can help. So.
Yeah, like doing different things. And I always kind of go back to this, and I joke about this with like my girlfriends and whatnot, is like, if my husband loves to fish, I need to learn to fish. And I don't like fishing, and thankfully you don't either. But that stands true with other things. Like in our marriage, it was football. And the first year of marriage, and I was like, oh my gosh, if he doesn't turn off ESPN, and if I have to hear one more newscaster talk about one more projection, and he's like talking to me about the draft and who's going to get this, and I was like, I have two choices. I can either be irritated 90% of the year while he's talking about football, or I can go like, all right, my husband, loves football. I'm going to figure out a way to love football. And so I did. Next season, I was like, all right, I'm a competitive person. I like sports. Let's do this. I adopted your team. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's go. And then I started playing fantasy football with him, which is a really big deal. But the good news is that I actually love it. It gives me something to talk about with him when he's talking about this, so I don't just have to tune him out when he's talking about the draft and the this and the rookie and this stat and this stat. And I'm like invested because I have an investment because I like to win and I want to beat him.
And the draft is coming up, guys, in case you don't know.
We'll see.
She's like, what are you watching? I'm like, it's draft stuff. It's coming up this weekend.
But learn to fish, like figure it out. And he took up tennis for me, and he'd never touched a tennis racket in his whole life, but it's something that we can do together. And I'm not saying you have to be like sewed together at the hip and always doing everything together. That's not practical for real life, especially with kids and jobs and but investing in what your partner loves, and then they're going to turn around, they're going to want to invest in what you love, you know?
Last Saturday, it was a beautiful day out, and we just went out and played tennis for an hour and hit the ball around, and it was great, you know? And it was just nice to be outside. There was no one at the tennis courts. It was serene, and it was just a good day.
So that, I feel like, creates that connection, and that's a date, whatever it is. If you have those similar interests, even if it's not your first love or your first thing that you're maybe the best at, and kind of taking those turns and enjoying those things together. And then that also ties into exercise, of course, too. Yeah. But I feel like when you take care of all of those other stresses, you start to see the connection, then you can start to get into the fun stuff.
Also, I didn't bring it up, but exercising with the kids, too, is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Getting their energy out and stuff. And Piper, she's like good for curls.
And
then the other kids are overhead presses.
Yes. No.
Sorry.
But when you have that connection, I feel like we're connecting. He's seeing me. Maybe it's putting your phone down and having a conversation. For us, that's me actually. I didn't put my phone down. I actually turned off the alert notice on my phone that told me that I'd reached the hours that I'd set for myself because of quarantine. So I feel like I had too much guilt over it. I had to just like let it go. But I'm really working to do better. But for us, it's getting the kids to bed early.
It's a big thing.
Is super important. And I feel like during these times, it's so easy to be like, well, we don't really have school. And so you can stay up a little later and watch that. But that cuts into our time together and our alone time. But when we have that rigidness in it, it's like, hey, no, this is time. Maybe it's an hour later than normal or whatever, but this is bedtime because mom and dad do need our alone time to connect.
And it's not going to be perfect, and it's going to vary from night to night. But if we can just get 3 or 4 nights a week where we get the kids, like pipe our youngest in bed earlier, and because she's the one that always needs mom, and the other kids keep her up, and just have that alone time between us where we can actually sit, talk, enjoy each other instead of, dealing with homeschooling and the pandemonium and pandemic. And, that's really important. And that's where we start to get our heartstrings connected again, because it's been, even though we're spending so much more time together, I feel like we're still have distanced ourselves in a weird way. I don't know if that makes sense, but we're just out of our routine, I guess.
It can be, yeah. But the big thing, too, we were talking about this and what we're going to discuss, is that sometimes it is putting on a show together to watch, but turning off the shows is a big thing. But that's what eats into, I think, some of the intimacy as well.
Definitely.
Emotional, physical, all the connections. But if we turn that off and just talk, maybe every night we have just 10 minutes after the kids go to bed where we just sit on the back porch or sit on the front porch or whatever and just talk about whatever's going on in our hearts. And it feels kind of weird at first because I feel like we really initiated that when we were talking about the show and what was going on. We were really connecting. I'm like, hey, this actually feels really good.
Really good. To
talk and connect to my partner. It kind of feels like a mini date, even though it's not. Because when you do have that date, that's when you're forced. Like, okay, we got the babysitter, or somebody's watching the kid, and we're going to go out and sit at a restaurant, and that's when you have that little bit of connection. The phones are down, the TV's off. So just forcing yourself, maybe you just schedule in 10 minutes of talking, and I bet you, because you do like your partner, like I like my partner, it's going to turn into 15 or 20 or, I feel like our big success in our marriage is that we really have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of grievances that we have and like little nuances that annoy each other, but like I think at the end of the day we really like each other and we really have fun together.
We do.
And getting back to that, maybe it's just playing a board game together, which we do that a lot too.
We do.
To me, that's like a date, kind of, because it is talking and it's something that the kids are asleep and we're just doing something,
Cooking together, just like a real nice way to bond. Just like, she does one part, I do the part. We bring the parts together and come up with a delicious meal, and it's fun.
Yeah, we love to cook. He cooks a lot better and more gourmet than I do, so he takes on and tackles the more intense things. I'm a little bit more comfort food, casseroles, crock pots, baking, things like that. So I feel
desserts.
Like desserts.
Lots of desserts.
We've been on the quarantine desserts a little heavy lately. I bake more for the kids, and because we have a blended home, when our big kids are home, it's like, okay, I'm making apple crisp this night. I'm making brownies, and it's kind of my excuse, but it's also, what did we have last night? Oh, Coke floats or Dr. Pepper floats.
Yeah.
Really good. So that's where the exercise comes in also.
Yes, we have to. It'd be sad if we didn't.
Absolutely. But talking to each other, taking away our anxieties and connecting. And then for me, and I touched on this just now, I like to cook with a crock pot, and this is my favorite analogy. My husband is a little bit more of a meat guy. He's kind of a griller. Turn that grill on fast. So it kind of ties in really nicely.
And hot.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more of a crock pot when it comes to intimacy as well. Like I need if you want to have dinner that night, you better turn that crock pot on around 10 a.m.
So yeah,
you hear me?
It's just affirmations throughout the day and just making sure that I'm, tending to her needs and talking with her and making sure that I'm empathetic to everything that's going on, trying to cut down on her anxiety with all the teaching and such, and just helping out the kids as well. I think that's a huge part. And even if it's not something that's, sensual, it's still something that's...
No, that is very sexy. Keep talking.
Just doing stuff like that throughout the day. I think that if you're more cognizant of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and what your partner's doing, just looking and see what if there's 1 or 2 or 3 things that I could do, because I know that if I do things well, I'll get rewarded later. Can I say that?
Holly has a question. How do you carve out time to be by yourself to recharge? I have worked from home for a while and I'm missing the nap time hour. That's his specialty, where I totally alone and the house is quiet. That's a good question. Answer that. How are you doing that? How are you recharging when the house isn't quiet?
So one of us will stay there with the kids. And if that's your situation, then I go for a ride. I turn my music up really loud.
Okay. That's your recharge, though. That's interesting. That's good. I like it.
I like honestly, it's invigorating. I've been driving too fast probably, but I mean, it just put the windows down, mess my hair up a little bit, you know. It's I don't know. It's good to just go for a drive. It's safe. I mean, and you get out of your environment. There's no yelling unless you want it to be on your music, and that's a good way for me. I also do you know what? If I don't have anything to do for a moment, I'm tired, and I stayed up till 1 o'clock last night because I just did.
Watching Netflix.
Yeah, watching Netflix. Then I'll take a nap, and naps are nice. I don't have a problem with
Well, she's saying the house isn't quiet though. Oh. So how are you taking the? He puts headphones in. Honestly.
Yeah, I have noise canceling headphones, and that also is a nice thing. If I do like yard work or stuff like that, then I always have those on.
Or if he needs time, he has a important work thing, or I know he needs a little bit of a break. I can feel he's turning into Grouchy Bear, and I gotta get. I'll take the kids out. We'll tag team, like I said. I'll take the kids for a walk or a bike ride over to the park, so he can have a 20-minute recharge nap. So maybe communicating with your partner. The other thing, the other day I was at my wit's end. I'm not a big napper, but he took over, and I just went outside, and we have a hammock outside, and I just sat out in the hammock and read my book for 20 minutes, and that kind of recentered me and carved that time. It's different. We're not going to have this big luxurious blocks of time with nobody home. We're having to adapt to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Self-enforced naps on the kids, maybe. Just kidding.
Mm-hmm. But back to what you were saying with all that talk about helping me out around the house and starting at 10 a.m. And one of the biggest things that he did is he came home. He had been out kind of working and checking in the hospital. He came in and he could tell I was kind of a little frazzled with the kids, and he just said, "What do you need me to do?" That's amazing. I mean, those words to me are so powerful, and it's such a great way to connect. And that, I mean, the flowers and the 70s R&B that you like so much, that's true. Just asking me, that's so much more sexy, or so much more connecting, and gets me ready if you help me in that way. And when you do that, I feel like that kind of primes the crock pot a little bit, if you will. So that connection, I feel like just being creative too, as far as your quarantine dates go. I've seen a lot of parents having back patio and the kids are waiting on them and making it special and having a dinner in that way. Or we've made little picnics and packed things up and taken things and gone to the park or gone to the foothills or something like that. And for us, we have older kids that can watch the younger, so that is nice that we can sneak away for a little bit.
But I think the biggest thing is just getting out and doing those things together just brings your whole family closer, and then the kids will be a lot more receptive to you saying, "Hey, you know what? I need you guys to leave us alone for a couple hours," or "I need you to go to bed on time today." It's just doing the special things with the kids, that not only give good moments with them, but also having them respect that you have done so much with them today. You need your time as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's important, and I think that that's sometimes we forget that stuff.
And for me, as a woman and a wife, when I'm home all day, it's important. And I did this before. I feel like I would try, when he came home, even if I'd been cleaning the house or running around or I'd been to the gym, try to get myself pulled together a little bit. I feel better about myself, and I feel more interested in maybe the plans that you have if I feel better about myself, and I maybe change from my Target sweatpants to my Lululemon sweatpants or something, getting yourself pulled together, putting on a little lip gloss. Maybe I washed that greasy bun and took it down and blow dried my hair. We have the time. It's okay if the kids have the iPad and you need to take 20 minutes to kind of pull yourself together. I feel like that's me respecting myself anyway, but also respecting you and honoring you. Yeah. Instead of you coming home from the hospital and I'm all, "Help me," and my hair's sticking out. I have dark circles under my eyes, which is fine. It's hereditary. But pop a little concealer on there and "Hey, welcome home." And it's just me loving you and also kind of honoring you. You look at me and you know that I'm thinking "Oh, I did pull myself together even though I'm not going anywhere."
Yeah, and the same thing for me. I'd rather be wearing a tank top all day, but just putting on a nice shirt and for dinner and sitting down and serving everyone, kind of trying to find that semblance that we used to have of like going out to a restaurant and, so
Yep.
been working on that.
Rediscovering the new normal.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that phrase has been a little overused, but it's good. So I would love to keep talking because I'm staring at these hot wings and I'm really scared. For those of you out there that don't know, my husband, like I said, is the spicier side of me. He has not one, but 2 hot sauce tattoos. Okay? And he wanted to get an entire hot sauce leg, but I put the no on that one. So he's pretty passionate about spicy food. So in order to honor and love my husband and something that I thought would be really fun and entertaining, I'm already sweating, to do one time, we are going to do a spicy hot ones challenge. You're welcome to use the internet and find the inspiration for that. It's a pretty funny show, but we don't condone some of the language used on that show. So, but that's our inspiration. And because we have relatively limited time constraints here, we've skipped the easy ones.
The easy ones.
So I'm going to turn this over to him because he's the hot sauce guy and can explain the nerdy hot sauce language and the units and the things.
Nerdy. So basically, if anyone knows me, they know I love food. They know I love spicy food. So just to give you a reference point, so the stuff that we're starting out, we'll let you know the Scoville level. Scoville level is basically the units of heat that each of these sauces that we've chosen to have.
Yep.
So to give you a reference, so green chili, mild green chili is 2,000 Scoville. Spicy green chili is 5,000 Scoville.
Like
Tabasco is
your
like
everyday hot
2,000. Sriracha is 3,000. And the one that we're starting off with is a beautiful little one from Ontario.
How many Scovilles is it?
It's only 12,000.
Okay.
So
we did try these at home, most of them. We didn't try
No, we didn't
2
try
of
all of
them.
them.
I'm going to get the trash can because... All right. Here we go. So what's the name of this first hot sauce? Can you introduce it?
Yeah, it's a Heartbeat Pineapple Habanero. It's 12,000 Scoville from Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
And,
I'm going to get the baby one. Here we go. There are a couple rules here. Don't touch your eyes. So here we go. We're going to start here.
Not really a
Love them.
sexy way to eat a chicken wing.
There's not really an attractive way to eat a chicken wing, but this has got a little pineapple to it. It's nice. I'm going to grab it for the Instagram people
So it's
and show
like
you.
it's like a walk on the beach in Canada.
Something. So we've got some questions, some more rapid fire questions and fun ones to ask through these. You want to start us off, Mr. Tubes?
You have your mouth into.
Okay. Here you go.
Do you hold grudges or forgive easily? Be
Well,
honest.
You know, I feel like in a lot of ways I forgive easily, but I don't necessarily forget. So, by biblical definitions, I got to work on that.
Fair enough.
Valid?
Valid.
All right, what's the most annoying thing about me?
Oh,
Going
that.
right in there.
How is it that every time I have 3 towels in the bathroom, 3 towels, and then I go back and I go take a shower later at night after you're in there, there's no towels?
Because I need like at least 3 towels
How do you need 3 towels?
after I get out of the shower.
You have the same amount of surface space.
I would say my encouragement to you would be before you get in the shower, check to make sure you have a towel.
Oh, always.
The most annoying thing about you is you chew ice in bed. Really loud.
I do.
But I love you.
I love you too.
All right, what's the next hot sauce?
The next one is Bravado Black Garlic Carolina Reaper Sauce.
Shoot.
No, it's not. It's
No.
Blair's After Death.
Lies.
Sorry. Straight out of New Jersey.
After death. There is a skull on that, so we're not messing around. How many Scovilles is this?
49,000, so we're jumping it up a bit.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. All right.
Tastes good.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a lot on this one.
Ooh. A little roof in the mouth situation. Not too bad, but I'm feeling it. I respect it. Let's just say that. I respect it. Okay. If you could only cook one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I guess pasta, because it's versatile. We can do all different types of
I'd
things
be
with it.
300 pounds if all we ate was pasta for the rest of our life. But I like that.
I mean, but
Versatile?
think about it. It couldn't just be chicken.
No. Okay.
All right. Do you sing to yourself in the shower?
I mostly talk to myself in the shower.
It's bizarre. I was like, what's she singing?
I'm gonna sing a little, but not really. I'm not really a singer. That's not a gift that was bestowed upon me or anybody in my family. But I give like motivational talks to myself in the shower, and I feel like he'll be out, be like, "What are you saying in there?" I'm like, "Nothing. I was just talking to myself."
Just tell me, please. I want to know.
Don't worry about
I'm
it.
going to put a recorder in there one time.
It's inspiring. Like
Something.
It's like, it's like the locker room talks, like
There
the
you
coaches give. Like, yeah. Okay. Next up, what do we got?
Bravado. It's the black garlic.
We went through these first ones fast, but I feel like the
Carolina
next ones
Reaper.
are going to get real
I'm
off.
just going to slow down a little bit. Carolina Reaper.
Black garlic, Carolina Reaper. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's from Bravado
Opening up
Spice
the sinuses.
in Houston. This one's one of the ones that I like putting on burritos and such.
Blazing. It's vegan, if anybody's interested. Okay, here goes, kids.
71,000 Scoville.
Okay. Not to be trifled with. Don't touch your eyes.
That's pretty good.
Anybody out there tried any of these hot sauces we're talking about? Drop it down there in the questions, comments, etc. I feel like my tongue is a little bit numb from the last one. I can't even really taste this. Just hot.
Let's get ready for the next one. So tell, not your mouth's full, tell everyone out there what your hidden talents are.
Hidden talent. Well, I can't sing or play anything musical. I can whistle louder than anyone I've ever met on this earth.
That's true. That's how she gets our attention of our kids. So
And I can also type really fast. I feel like that's the only thing that I truly retained from high school was like typing class. And I'm a really avid typer. I could be like a court reporter, like 70 something. Actually, they type a lot faster than that, but I feel like I'm pretty good. Okay.
Nice.
Well, do you have any hidden talents?
me?
You don't. David doesn't hide much.
It's out there.
He tells everybody if
If
he
it's
has a
good,
talent.
you'll know about it.
What's your favorite song right now? I'm not touching the milk. We have a glass of milk
I'm
right
not
here.
touching that either. Oh, you wait till the next one though. It's the same song for the last 20 years, I guess. It's Voyage to Atlantis by the Isley Brothers. It's good. Check it out if you haven't. Voyage to Atlantis.
What year did that come out?
69, I think.
What year were you born?
76.
That's your favorite song of all time.
Yeah, it's good.
Voyage to Atlantis.
It's got
You
a
took
lot
me.
of.
We went to the Isley Brothers concert.
We did. I made her go, and she loved it.
It was interesting. It was something to behold. 70-year-old pop star swaying on the stage.
In a yellow sequin suit.
Man,
It was nice.
kicking. But then he'd sit down. He had a stool, which I don't blame him. Like he sat down like in between every single song.
It's about to get real. This
Real
is the
hot.
one that everyone dies on the.
I just put lip gloss on to protect my lips because I was scared.
Oh no! I should have got some. Thanks for
Hi.
thinking of me, babe.
Okay. So this next one, we did like some of the guys around here tried this before, and I think they're still crying from this. So this one I'm truly afraid of. Like my heart is. I don't even want to touch these with my
It's
fingers.
the
I want
bomb.
to put gloves on.
It's the bomb. It's 138,000 Scoville, but it's supposed to be the worst sauce.
Da bomb. And this is from Kansas City, right?
Kansas City.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Sweet baby Moses.
Pick your one.
This one.
Whoa, geez, I burped a little bit.
We have a trash can here in case anyone throws up. I think Shaq threw up when he ate this one.
He did.
So there's that. Oh,
It doesn't taste good.
that's unpleasant. At best.
I've been training for this all my life. All right. I don't like that.
So, my reasoning here is that I've had 3 children. I can do anything.
Yep.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How's that feel?
That feels
kind of in the back of the throat.
It's kind of like all over.
My mouth's starting to go on fire.
My lips.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good. If you had your own show, what would it be called?
I don't know. Don't eat this with Becca. It's a tough one. 3 things on your bucket list.
Sorry for everybody out there that's... Here comes the milk. I'm not going to touch it. Oh my gosh, it is really hot. There is a 4-alarm fire in my mouth. My bucket list would be... I feel like all the things on my bucket list are traveling.
We just missed our trip to Hawaii.
We were supposed to be in Hawaii a couple weeks ago. That didn't happen. But I feel like all the things, like I want to go to Italy with you.
Yeah.
Whew. I really want to go to New Zealand. Oh my gosh, sweet fire. My eyes are crying. Don't touch your eyes. It's fine. One more thing on my bucket list.
I'm sweating.
My mind is blank.
Fine.
I don't even remember. So your question.
Hurry up.
Would you rather go in the past and meet your ancestors or go in the future and meet your grandchildren? Oh my God.
I'll meet my grandchildren eventually. I'd rather go in the past.
Okay, great-grandchildren. Go forward and meet somebody you wouldn't meet in the
I never got to meet my grandpa, and I heard so many wonderful things about him. I'd like to meet him and see what that family dynamic was like, and meet some of the other older crazy Toups. You're crying.
I'm so touched. That was really sentimental.
Oh, I know, baby.
Don't touch your eyes.
I'm not touching my eyes. I'm no fool.
Okay. That is really exciting. Okay.
Okay, I'm good.
Don't ever eat that, anybody.
Eat it.
Oh, all right, the next one. What's the next one and how many Scovilles?
The next one is Bravado Crimson Special Reserve. Another one out of Houston. 327,000 Scoville.
David's also out of Houston. That's probably why a lot of people are out of Houston.
What? Also, I met them at the Fiery Food Show, and they were all really awesome. I like their sauces. All right, you ready?
Okay. No, I'm not ready for any of this. This is terrible.
My lips are firing.
Okay.
This is blue cheese.
How many Scovilles is it? Oh, this is in the middle. It doesn't
327.
matter. Oh, it doesn't matter.
The other one's hot. I can't even feel my lips.
Your what? Your yips?
I can feel my teeth, though, which is weird. His teeth are... Oh, yeah, it's good.
We will not be taking out our contacts tonight.
Absolutely. Probably not for a week.
And there'll be nothing but emotional intimacy tonight.
Air guitar touching.
Whoa. Okay. Do you have another question for me?
Who's your favorite movie star?
I don't even know any movie stars right now.
Oh, you're seeing stars? Don't you lie to me.
Movie stars.
Such a basic question. Just think of one.
I can't think of anybody right now. I really like... Who's the guy that plays? Oh, Jason Momoa.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
I wonder why you like him. He's so talented.
He's a really great actor. Don't cough.
Tell me what to do. Get that away.
You want some milk?
Oh, no punk.
Okay. Here's a question. Since you have 2 hot sauce tattoos, which hot sauce would you be and why? Would you be one of the hot ones that's in your face that you just can have a little bit and don't want to see ever again? Or would you be one of like the palatable?
That'd be the black garlic, I think.
Easy to go to ones.
Because it's delicious. Not everyone likes it, but I mean, you can handle it in small doses. Don't always have to have too much.
That's good.
That's all I got. I'm not that one.
Not the bomb that makes you want to vomit?
That would be like, no, that's horrible. I'm afraid. I want to touch my eyes.
Okay. No. My lips are on fire. This is fun, though.
Yeah. At least your eyes are on fire.
I haven't touched the milk yet.
I know. I'm very proud of you. So this is the last one. That's our last one. It's the hot ones, the last dab. It's 2 million Scoville. So, I don't know. Traditionally on the show, they'll put a little bit more on there. Would you like a little bit more?
Sure.
Might as well.
Doesn't even matter at this point.
It doesn't really matter right now. Thanks for my buddy for loaning me this hot one. I think, what's it? Kills me. More?
No. That is plenty. Oh, we didn't show this one. Hold on. How many school? This is 2 million.
2 million.
2 million. I'm sorry. I'm having like
Out of
short-term
Brooklyn.
memory loss. So this is the last dab. There you go. To all the people out there, blue cheese or ranch with the wings?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Blue cheese. I know that.
Blue cheese all day, baby.
Yeah, he thought he didn't like ranch. And then he had Dion's ranch after saying he didn't like it for years and years. And he was
Just all my life.
he's like, this is actually really good. And I was like, yeah, you like ranch. You just said you didn't like ranch.
I like blue cheese more.
but
That
blue
ranch
cheese-
is actually really good. It's not that cheap ranch. You look sweaty, babe.
It's glowy.
All right. Which one do you
opening
pick?
up
Yours?
all my pores.
Pick yours.
This
What do you
is
want?
way better. I'm going to go with less.
Okay.
This is,
More is less. All right, here it is.
all right, here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, no. That's good.
That's like
Oh, it's hot.
citrusy off the top.
Oh,
I can't even taste like hot anymore. It just is
it just is.
burning death. And I said before this, I was saying, somebody's asking me how I'm doing because one of my brothers really is enjoying quarantine and like social distancing and being at home, being a shut-in. And I said, I hate this with the hot fire of 1,000 hells because I hate like not being able to go anywhere
Yeah.
or do anything, but I hate this more. We don't say hate. That's what I tell Piper.
Oh, yeah.
I dislike
Piper
it
will correct you anytime you say that.
with greatness. Okay.
So, who would play your love interest in a film?
That's like the same question. You.
No, your love interest in a film. Which actor would play your love interest in a film? Which actor?
You. Who's the guy that is from I can't even think of names. I don't even know your name at this point.
Daryl.
No, from the Godfather, not the Godfather, Goodfellas.
Oh.
The light eyes.
Ray
I'd say.
Liotta?
Yeah, like young Ray Liotta.
Okay.
Young Ray
I like
Liotta.
that.
He looks like you. What's the thing you miss most about non-quarantine life? I'm sorry, I can't even form sentences right now.
I think just going out and eating food or like having like gatherings with our friends and just, I think just that's like kind of my love language. So I kind of miss like our huge gatherings where everyone brings a different dish and stuff like that. And we'll get together and eat. That or going to get some oysters.
I miss the gym too.
Oh my
I said that
gosh.
today,
So
like,
yeah.
going to the gym and like not being at home. My lips are so swollen. Oh, I inhaled that. Anyway,
I look sweaty.
that's enough. Thank you for joining us and watching us eat 6 chicken wings and cry and sweat and being here to talk about like marriages. Oh God, okay. I can't even finish. It's in my throat.
We thank you a lot.
I have milkshakes off to the side, so we're gonna get that, and I'm having some milk. That's the end for this week. Thank you.
Thank you.